Did you know that there's a place where animals have no predators? Here's how the Earth changed in the last 4 billion years. Scientists believe that life on Earth began nearly 3.5 to 4 billion years ago. At that time, our planet looked nothing like it does today. The Earth's surface was hot and uneven. Oceans were just beginning to form. And instead of an oxygen-filled atmosphere, it was filled with gases like methane, ammonia, hydrogen, and water vapor. There was no oxygen to breathe, no plants to give shade, and no animals roaming the land. Yet within this harsh environment, the building blocks of life were beginning to take shape. But how did these building blocks of life arise? Where did it all begin? To answer these questions, scientists turned to experiments like the famous Millery experiment in 1953. This experiment simulated conditions believed to have existed on early Earth, when lightning or energy was applied to a mixture of early Earth gases. Amino acids could indeed form. These amino acids are the raw materials of proteins, which are essential for all living things. But having the building blocks wasn't enough. The next step was organization. How did these molecules get from a primordial soup to the cells that make up all living things today? Over millions of years, scientists think that these molecules gathered into more complex structures. Some of them formed simple membranes that trapped molecules inside, creating tiny droplets. These droplets, often called protocells, could carry out simple chemical reactions and keep their contents separate from the outside environment. This separation was a crucial step toward life, because it allowed internal chemistry to evolve independently. Eventually, molecules capable of storing and passing on information appeared. Many scientists suggest that RNA, a molecule similar to DNA, may have been the first genetic material. RNA can both store information and act as a catalyst, helping chemical reactions occur faster. This RNA world may have been the beginning of evolution as we know it, because molecules that copied themselves more effectively would naturally become more common. Through countless cycles of trial and error, the first true cells emerged. These cells were simple, with no nucleus or other complex structures, and they relied on the chemistry around them to survive. Yet they marked the beginning of biology, the moment when Earth transitioned from a chemical planet to a living one. From single-celled organisms, life took off. The first photosynthesizers appeared around 3.4 billion years ago, dramatically changing the course of life on Earth. Photosynthesis used sunlight to convert carbon dioxide and water into energy, releasing oxygen as a byproduct. As these early photosynthetic organisms reproduced, they began to fill Earth's surface with oxygen. For a long time, scientists thought that Earth's oxygen catastrophe, where oxygen levels suddenly increased drastically, occurred around 2.4 billion years ago. However, evidence now suggests that the rise in oxygen was a much slower process taking millions of years. Though initially toxic to many life forms, eventually the abundance of oxygen led to the evolution of aerobic respiration, a more efficient way of generating energy. This paved the way for more complex life. As the Earth cooled, continents formed, and the first eukaryotic cells with a nucleus and other internal structures, emerged around 2.5 billion years ago. But life really started to diversify with the advent of multicellularity. The first animals, bacteria, fungi, and single-celled eukaryotes all appeared during this time. Then around 600 million years ago, something remarkable happened. Most of the major animal phyla we know today appeared in a relatively short period known as the Cambrian explosion. This event, though, was not a sudden burst of creativity. Rather, it was the product of some 20 million years of evolution prior, during which small changes gradually accumulated, leading to major transformations. Life continued to evolve and diversify until the first plants appeared on land around 470 million years ago. Animals soon followed, venturing out of the water onto the newly formed terrestrial realm. The Devonian period, lasting from 419 to 359 million years ago, was a pivotal moment when vertebrates began to conquer land. Amphibians were among the first vertebrates to adapt to life on land, venturing out of water to lay their eggs. However, they were tied to water bodies, as they required moist environments for reproduction. It wasn't until the amniotes evolved, creatures like reptiles and mammals, that vertebrates truly became terrestrial. Amniotes laid eggs with protective shells, allowing them to reproduce away from water. This evolutionary leap marked a significant chapter in the conquest of land as the Earth's climate cooled, mammals began to flourish. The Cenozoic era, which began 66 million years ago after the mass extinction that killed the dinosaurs, saw the rise of primates. Around 55 million years ago, the first apes emerged in Africa, and about 25 million years ago, the great apes, including chimpanzees and gorillas, appeared. From these ancestors. Humans eventually arose. The story of life on Earth is a tale of adaptation, survival, and diversification. It is a testament to the power of evolution and the relentless drive of life to explore and conquer new frontiers. But it's far from over. As we continue to explore the Earth and its ecosystems, we uncover more stories of life, each contributing to the rich tapestry of our planet's history. So what's next for life on Earth? Only time will tell. But one thing is sure, life will find a way. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos. See you next time!